Just learned the identity of a mother murdered allegedly by her husband. He's accused of shooting her and then beating their 3 children. 2 of them sought help from a neighbor as captured on heartbreaking doorbell camera video.
Smart, kind, and a loving mother is how Leila Fuselier describes her childhood friend, Christina Abner.
She was a very bubbly girl. She was friendly to everybody.
In Southeast Houston, a man was captured after climbing on top of this roof. Police say he shot and killed a 33-year-old mother and beat her 3 children.
I definitely feel like my friend was a very strong girl and she wanted to stay visualized as a strong person.
No matter how strong, Fuselier hopes more women will speak up if their family could be in danger.
32-year-old Christina Abner was a kind-hearted and loving soul who was a great mother, sister, and daughter. Most importantly, she was a mother to 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and a girl, ranging from ages 3 to 11 years old. Christina just got a new job and was looking forward to getting her life back on track. Things were looking up for her. Little did anyone know, a chain of events would take place that would change her and her children's lives forever. Around 1:20 a.m. on December 15th, Houston police responded to a report of an assault on Cosby Street after an 11-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy ran to a neighbor's home on Houston's south side asking for help and to report a shooting. Upon arrival, they would locate 2 children showing signs of physical abuse, a man on top of a roof, and an unresponsive woman inside of a home in the 5100 block of Enyart Street.
Officers rushed to an unsettling scene Friday morning after reports of a man assaulting his children in the middle of the street.
One was found in the house unconscious. The other 2 happened to make it around the corner and asked for help.
A young girl told police that her father shot her mother. When police got to the house, they found a 3rd child with blunt trauma. The mother found shot dead at the scene.
I'm doubtful for words and to see all the blood in the house and everything damaged in the house. The gunshots came outside.
Chris Smith lives next door to the family and has known them for years.
He just started tripping out here right after Thanksgiving. I think the cops have been here like 5 or 6 times.
And we saw the change. He started getting angry, aggressive towards his wife, family members, his dad.
Neighbors say the suspect has a history of getting into trouble.
But he go to jail and he be right back out. He just got out Sunday and then this happened. It ain't been a week.
I could see the kids crying sometimes, sitting outside because they didn't want to see or hear the commotion that was going on inside.
Neighbors praying for the healing of the 3 siblings.
Those kids are going to be traumatized for life. They're going to need some extensive counseling.
The victim was identified as 32-year-old Christina Abner, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to multiple gunshot wounds. All 3 of Christina's children had been beaten and suffering from serious injuries, including a 3-year-old boy who was found inside of the home upon the discovery of Christina's bullet-ridden body. According to police, an 11-year-old girl informed them that her father had shot her mother before directing officers to the horrific scene. Not only did police find the front door open, but a 3rd child, a 3-year-old, suffering from blunt force trauma. Out of all of the 3 siblings, he would sustain the worst injuries. They would also notice an adult male who climbed on top of the roof of a neighboring home in what police believe was an attempt to evade arrest. He was swiftly taken into custody by police without incident. All 3 children were taken to the hospital. Court documents state their injuries included a skull fracture, brain hemorrhage, swollen eyes, and collapsed lung. As authorities went through the rest of the home, they found Christina's deceased body. She had been shot at least 1 time. Police would quickly identify the suspect as Christina's husband and father of all 3 children, 35-year-old Keith Marion Lee. The couple had been together for roughly 13 years and met through her brother, who was high school friends with Keith. In a May 2019 Facebook post, Christina wrote, "Shout out to my husband, Keith Lee. Today is his birthday and our 1-year anniversary of being married. We've been together for 9 years, and today makes a year of being married. I love everything about this man. We may not be perfect, but we work hard for our family. The love he gives me makes me understand that true love exists. The hard work he puts into us to provide for our family and I pray that we grow old together so we can see our next generation of kids. I love you, Keith. You're the best part of my life, and I thank you for everything. You mean everything to me, and I want to let the world know it's about us and our future. Happy birthday, my love. In an April 2020 Facebook post, she wrote, 10 years may seem like forever, but I couldn't imagine it with anyone else. I cherish all the time with you. You are more than my husband. You're my best friend and partner. You see me at my best and worst. I love every part of you, and I'm thankful that I have you as a husband. All I can say is thank you for being my friend and having these beautiful kids we share together. I love you. I always have loved you, and I always will. Neighbors told ABC 13 that they were aware of problems in the home and that something sinister was bound to happen sooner or later. A neighbor who lives directly across the street from the home noticed a shift in Lee's behavior over the last few months. He was more aggressive and claimed to see demons all around him. According to him, Lee confided in him, confessing that he had begun taking PCP. HPD said they have responded to the home for disturbance calls 3 times in the last 6 months. In October, documents show Lee was arrested for harassing Christina, but the charge was dismissed. In 2010, he was arrested for reportedly hitting her. Lee pleaded no contest and received deferred adjudication. Another call resulted in a November harassment charge. The most recent call was roughly a week before the horrific event, in which she was arrested and released on bond. Christina's brother, who was devastated and shocked, says being angry won't bring his sister back, and that he and his wife are now focused on showing his niece and nephews what love truly is. Not only did they lose one parent that day, but 2. It will take intense therapy and for the family to come together as a unit to help them get through this traumatic experience, both now and going forward in life.
Captured on heartbreaking doorbell camera video. The horrific scene played out in the South Union neighborhood overnight. ABC 13 reporter Jessica Willey is live at the jail. Doesn't get any worse than this, Jess.
Yeah, Erica, it is just a terrible situation to report tonight. This happened overnight. The husband identified in court records and by neighbors and friends as Keith Marion Lee is not yet listed here at the Harris County Jail, but he will be, HPD says, in the coming days. He was arrested after he climbed onto a neighbor's roof. Family members tonight identified the victim as his wife, Christina Abner. They tell me that things were looking up for her, and then tragedy struck. Tonight, a lone bouquet and candles outside the home on Enyart where 2 children fled for their lives. Doorbell camera video showed the girl with her younger brother bloodied and bruised at a neighbor's home begging for help, and across the street, their father up on the roof.
It's something you don't want to hear or see at 1 o'clock in the morning. You hear somebody screaming in the middle of the street and you thinking, just somebody getting into it or something, but it's actually a child fighting for her life, and she was trying to save her and her brothers due to him killing her mother. Police found their door wide open, their mother in a room shot to death, and their little brother. Violence neighbors feared would come.
Sooner or later, something bad's going to happen. And we told them that several times, not just one time. 2 or 3 times we mentioned to them, something's bad's going to happen over there.
Neighbor Roderick Spradley said Houston police had been called to the home before. HPD confirms 3 times in the last 6 months. In October, court records show Keith Lee was arrested on a harassment charge involving his wife that was later dismissed. In 2010, he was arrested for hitting his wife. He pleaded no contest and got deferred adjudication. 13 years later, there was a marked change. Spradley says Lee recently broke out the windows on the house and smashed his own car.
He mentioned and told me that he was smoking PCP. He did tell me that himself. And I begged, I said, please, you can't do that. You have your kids, your wife, this house.
The victim, Christina Abner, was 32. A relative tells ABC 13 she just got a new job and was getting her life on track. He says she loved her children dearly. She was a wonderful mother and sister who will be truly missed. The children were hospitalized, their outcry heartbreaking, their father being held responsible.
As a man of God, Brandon Abner says he's trying to live by what he preaches. I can't say that I need to act in violence because I let the vengeance be with God.
Violence is what his 11-year-old niece and 6-year-old nephew ran from early Friday morning.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy because day on and day out I have to live with the fact that my sister is not going to be here.
Keith has been charged with the attack. Brandon says he and Christina initially connected because he and Keith were high school friends.
And anger will never bring my sister back, so it is what it is. I still forgive him because that's the heart I gotta have.
Brandon tells us he knew the couple fought, but never expected anything like this.
If I can offer any advice to anybody, if it's such a bad thing, just step away.
Today he tells us he's trying to teach his children, his nieces and nephews, what love is.
And you don't have to be loved to death.
Brandon feels his nieces and nephews have lost both parents. He says he knows he and his wife will never be able to replace them.
We're not trying to replace them, so we're just going to do the best to give them the love that they need and do as much as we can as a family because it's going to take us to be a unit to help everybody be okay.
Christina's family has started a GoFundMe to raise money for the care of her 3 children, who will all be in the care of their grandmother. Upon his arrest, 35-year-old Keith Marion Lee was taken to a local hospital to be treated for a medical condition. He was subsequently released and taken to the Harris County Jail and is charged with murder and 3 counts of injury to a child. Lee is scheduled to appear in court while police are still searching for a motive. The case remains ongoing.